Welcome back to my Road to Completion guide for Dark Souls 3. This is episode number 10. Go ahead and switch out your long sword for your storyteller staff for your right-handed weapon. And then notice we got hidden body up top in the D-pad slot. We do not want these enemies to be able to detect us, right? And we talked about this in a previous episode. Hidden body allows us to be pretty much invisible as we're running past enemies. And this way we don't have to fight all the enemies in the game. We don't have to waste that time. We just go through as fast as possible, collect the items that we need to collect along the way, take out boss fights, rinse and repeat until we're able to finish this thing out, right? Once you guys get to the top of the cliff, go ahead and cast hidden body. Remember R1, cast hidden body. And then notice this, we're just running past everybody. They don't even know that we're here. Now at this point, we're looking for another undead bone shard. This will be your third one of the game. Remember, we have to get 10 of these. This will be number 3, and it's over here on this corpse hanging off the edge over here. Make sure you guys pick that up. Okay. Then we're just going to again cast hidden body again. Notice that no enemies have seen us yet, which is great. Keep running. We're going to go up the big set of stairs to the left up here, all the way to the front of this building, but then take a right. We're not going to head toward the double doors. They're locked from this side. You have to open them from the inside. Just keep going. Again, we're just going to bypass all of these enemies all the way through, guys, until we get to a set of double doors. Once we reach those double doors, I'll come back in with some commentary and we'll talk about how to get the deep gem. Once you guys make it to the double doors, go ahead and cast hidden body. We don't want your hidden body wearing off while you're in this animation. Now remember, you will have invincibility frames while you're opening up the door, but as soon as the animation ends, if your body's not concealed, those enemies will attack you from behind, okay? And that's not what we want. So just make sure you cast just before you open up the doors and you guys will be safe. There's 3 enemies in this room firing off projectiles. Just skip them, guys. No need to worry about them. And now we're on the hunt for the deep gem. Remember, I told you guys that we had to collect 15 gems in the game. This will be gem number 6, okay? Make sure that you guys two-hand your storyteller staff. Remember, triangle to do that. Then we're going to get to the bottom of the stairs. We're going to use our poison mist, and then we're going to run back up the staircase, okay? And this is a prime example of why I love the storyteller staff. It allows us to be able to have some type of offensive strategy when it comes to these enemies. Even though we're running around using hidden body a lot, there will be a few enemies I need you guys to kill, and we only have 1 attunement slot, right? When you go back to your bonfire and you go to attune spell, there's only 1 place to put a spell, and of course we're occupying that now with hidden body. But having that storyteller staff, we get basically a free magic that we can use, which is really cool. Notice I put on the symbol of avarice there. There's really no need to do that. You're only going to get 570 souls for putting it on, but you might as well, right? You have the time to do it. Switch back to your helmet, head down and look at there. It's going to be your deep gem. That's number 6 of 15. After you guys pick up the deep gem, we just want to backtrack up the stairs. Now I want you guys to switch back to your longsword. There will be 1 enemy that's going to fall off the ceiling here in just a second. So don't keep sprinting. You want to stop about right here and wait. See that? And hit this enemy a few times. Once it moves, you guys can go ahead and take the elevator. We're just heading back to the bonfire. Once you guys make it to the bonfire, go ahead and switch out the hidden body for the pestilent mist, set up a save, and I'll meet you guys on the other side. Alright guys, at this point we just need to backtrack. You're probably wondering why we switched out the hidden body for the pestilent mist. The reason why is because the boss fight coming up, The Pestilent Mist is going to give you guys advantage play during that fight, and there's not a bonfire between our current location and where we're going, so we can't switch out again. So we're just going to have to roll through with the Pestilent Mist, okay? So I want you guys to notice how fast I'm sprinting through here. There's going to be a giant on the lower levels. You want to avoid him, and the way that you do that, guys, is with speed. Notice we're going to be picking up an item here called the Lloyd's Sword Ring. That's going to be your 7th ring out of 107. And just keep sprinting. He does hit me here. See that? And he's going to be trying to hit you the entire time that you're on this platform. So you have to be careful. When you get to this point, I just want you guys to wait until the giant goes to sleep, and then we can progress. You guys see that animation there where he dips down, and then of course the screen shakes. That's going to let you guys know that he just went to sleep. Now he's going to wake back up as soon as you start to get close to him, so you have to do this rather quickly, okay? But it buys you just enough time to make it to the stairs. When you guys hit the stairs, notice how much health I lost from fall damage. You want to make sure that you pop an Estus there, okay? And then just keep running all the way through. I want you guys to grab this Peltongue coming up. This is going to be your 2nd Peltongue out of 10. All you have to do to get this is run in between the giant's legs, or I should say roll in between the giant's legs, because you have to worry about the swamp. You're also going to get invaded here. Don't worry about the invasion. I'll show you guys how to deal with that later. Just grab the Peltongue and then roll on through. Once you make it to the stairs, you're going to be safe, okay? Just keep going all the way through. There's going to be an enemy up here on the left. If you want to avoid this enemy, just run all the way through, and then when you get to the stairs, stay to the right. See that? And then push all the way to the fog gate. Once you guys make it to the fog gate, you guys are going to be safe. And I think I show that here. I turn around and show you that the enemies will not be chasing you. See that right there? And then we'll set up for this boss fight. Now the only thing we want to equip is going to be the gold pine resin. You guys can put that in your 3rd slot. We can buff our sword with that, and it's going to really do a lot of damage to this boss, okay? And then notice the save icon just showed up on the screen. I want you guys to go through the fog gate first. Notice that it's going to tell you that the dark spirit has returned home. Okay, the dark spirit invaded us when we were picking up the Peltongue earlier. You have to go through the fog gate for the dark spirit to go home, then quit the game, then set up a backup save so you guys can protect your souls. And then when you spawn back in, make sure that you guys summon Sirris on the left there using the summon sign. We're going to use her to our advantage when it comes to this boss fight. Now, just before you walk into the boss arena, I want you guys to use a green blossom that's going to give you better stamina recovery, and then go ahead and buff the long sword with the gold pine resin, okay? Now, if the gold pine resin ever wears off, you guys can buff again using your bottom D-pad slot. Notice what I'm doing here. I'm always attacking the enemy with the red flame. Every time you kill that enemy, the flame is going to shoot off into the sky and then come back down again and choose another deacon. All you want to do is try to pinpoint where that deacon is and keep trying to attack it. Now your biggest threat during this fight is just the sheer amount of enemies that are on screen at once, and they keep spawning in. The longer it takes for you to kill this boss, the more of these enemies that'll be in this arena, okay? So you want to kill the enemy with the flame quick, but like I was telling you, anytime you're trying to kill the enemy with the flame, he's going to be surrounded by more deacons. If they all start hitting you at once, you're going to die really quick, okay? So what you want to do is thin the deacons out, and that's where Pestilent Mist comes in. Now the great thing about casting Pestilent Mist at this point is because it's killing all the enemies at once, or is at least weakening them. Notice there's a ton of enemies right here around the deacon with the flame, and I just cut through them like butter, guys. Look at that. Because not only do I have my long sword +4, which is doing a ton of damage, but that Pestilent Mist is doing damage over time. And when you combine that, you can thin these enemies out super quick and get to the deacon with the flame. And of course, once you get the boss down to very low health, go ahead and switch out to the Symbol of Avarice. I'm going to deliver my final blow right here, and of course collect my souls. Now some of you may not feel comfortable switching to the Symbol of Avarice during this fight. If you guys want to, you can go ahead and kill the enemy, and then as soon as the enemy dies, switch to the Symbol of Avarice then. As long as you have the Symbol of Avarice on before the souls kick in, you'll get credit. Perfect. We can go ahead and take off the Symbol of Avarice now, put back on the Night Helm. I want you guys to rest at the bonfire. Go ahead and attune your spell to Hidden Body. We're going to remove Pestilent Mist, and we can also get rid of the gold pine resin from our inventory. Then after that, I want you guys to set up a safety save, and then we'll continue. At this point, we just need to make a very long run so we can interact with an NPC. On the way, I want you guys to open up the front doors to this chapel, so just make sure you're watching the gameplay. I will come back in with commentary once we reach the NPC. So this is the NPC that I was telling you guys about earlier. We want to go ahead and talk to him and get through all of his dialogue. For those of you who are familiar with the Dark Souls franchise, you will know who this NPC looks like. I'll say that much because there is a little bit of a twist in the storyline here. Of course, I'm going to be skipping the cutscene, but it does give that away during the cutscene. Make sure that you guys cast Hidden Body before the cutscene and then run all the way to the far end of this gate and wait. If you do that correctly, the giant will not notice you and will walk away. Then you guys can head all the way back to the bonfire. Now I say the bonfire because if you need to get the health, for whatever reason you got hit by the giant or something like that, you guys can go ahead and rest at the bonfire. But for those of you who have pretty good health at this point, you don't need the bonfire. But we do need to open up the door to the bonfire room. Very important. So this is the door to the bonfire room. The bonfire is actually going to be on the left. I don't think I show it in the clip, but it's to my left at that point, okay? So make sure you rest if you need to, but everybody needs to open up the double doors, okay? Then we're gonna come over here. We wanna grab the Poisonbite Ring. Again, notice that I'm casting Hidden Body. Gonna head over here, bypass this enemy, pick up the Poisonbite Ring. Now, if you guys noticed there, I did get hit a few times by the enemy. That's because I was just playing really aggressive and I rolled down to the lower level very close to the enemy, and of course at that point he's going to notice you, but the hidden body is going to pay off as you're running out of that room. He's not going to chase you, right? We'll come down through here, take a left, and you guys will see the bonfire. And then of course the doors to the left there are the ones that we just opened. That's the reason why I wanted you guys to open up those doors, because now we have to go in this direction and we didn't want to have to backtrack all the way back through the chapel, right? We'll open up these double doors. There's going to be an elevator. We're going to take that elevator to the top. Then we're going to take a ladder. And then once we get to the top of the ladder, there's going to be an enemy that I want you guys to kill so we can pick up another ring. This will be your 9th ring out of 107, and it's called the Deep Ring. And this is the ladder right here. Now, it can get a little bit weird when you're trying to turn that corner, so just be careful, guys. I've died there before because the camera angle gets a little bit weird right there, so be careful. This is the enemy that I want you guys to kill. Again, that's going to get you guys the Deep Ring. That's number 9 of 107. And the next item I want you guys to pick up is another Pale Tongue. That's going to be number 3 of 10. So again, just cast Hidden Body. We got a pretty long run. And once you guys pick up the Pale Tongue, I'll come back in with some commentary. There it is, the Pale Tongue. Perfect. Now, I want you guys to backtrack. We're going to go up here and take a right. We're going to head into the rafter section of the chapel. Make sure you guys are always casting Hidden Body. There's actually enemies in the rafters here with you, and then there's some on the platforms. We're going to take a right, and we're trying to pick up the item over there on the wall. Okay, there's one enemy down there, but again, just cast Hidden Body. He won't be a bother to you. Make sure you guys pick up the item. This is another gem. This will be your 7th one. Remember, there's a total of 15. This is known as the Blessed Gem. Okay. And now we're heading toward another NPC. So we're just going to keep zigzagging through the rafters here. See what I'm doing there? Every time I get to another intersection, I'm just taking either a left or a right. Notice the right there, then the left here. See that? Then back to the right. I'm never going straight across. You don't want to be on that side because that's where the enemies are. Then boom, I take a right. See the two enemies, I'm just going to split them. Then I'm going to fall off the edge here. Make sure that you guys have full Estus. You saw me Estus there, even though I had full health already, just to show you guys to make sure that you do that, right? Make sure you Estus again here, because remember, fall damage counts. I don't want you guys to die to fall damage. Then we just want to come over here and kill this enemy and then interact with the NPC. So this is going to be a very familiar face for those of you who have played the previous Dark Souls games. This is Patches. He was the one that was dressed up like Siegward earlier and set us up for that trap. Make sure that you guys select his very first option there. You know who I am. And then just go through his dialogue. We want to get a gesture here called Prostration. That's going to be your 14th. There it goes, Prostration. That's going to be your 14th gesture out of 33. And then we also want to buy some gear from him, okay? He's going to be selling the Catarina gear. We want to make sure that we get that, okay? Just keep going through his dialogue until he gives you guys the prompt to purchase item. And then go down to the Catarina Helm, the Catarina Armor, the Gauntlets, and of course the Leggings. Make sure you guys buy all those. You should have enough souls at this point to do that with as well. Now you guys can just leave the conversation. We're going to head to the next bonfire, just up the steps here to the left. Then there's going to be some double doors on the right. We're going to open up those double doors. You guys will see the bonfire directly ahead. Go through the double doors. These enemies, again, they're not going to bother you because you're opening up a doorway, right? And normally I would tell you guys to cast Hidden Body here, but these enemies are extremely slow. And they don't really pose any too much of a threat to you guys while you're trying to open up the double doors. And we're going to go ahead and light up this bonfire. There's no need to interact with the NPC that's ahead of us at this point. We will come back later and do that. But for now, we just want to make sure that we fast travel back to the Cleansing Chapel. So once you guys make it back to the Cleansing Chapel bonfire, go straight ahead and then take a right and there'll be a well, okay? If you've done everything correctly to this point, you'll hear some dialogue coming from the well. Okay, that's going to be the real Siegward at the bottom of the well, and he currently does not have his armor. So we just bought his armor from Patches, the Catarina set. I want you guys to throw all that armor down to him. You'll get a prompt that'll tell you to throw armor. I think it's coming up here in a second. Go ahead and toss that down. See it there, throw armor. Go ahead and throw it down to him. And that's going to fulfill this portion of his quest line. This means he's going to move to a new area later on, and there's an item that we want to get from him. So it's very important that he moves from the well and he shows up where we want him to show up next, okay? You're also going to be picking up another gesture called Rejoice. This will be your 15th gesture out of 33. There it is. And once this is all done, you guys can just head back to the bonfire.
With my trusty suit of armor up until...
Alright guys, just before we wrap up this episode, I want you to switch out the Hidden Body for the Great Heavy Soul Arrow, and I want you guys to travel back to Firelink Shrine. And once you make that happen, go ahead and quit the game, set up a safety save, and I will see you guys right back here in episode 11. You guys be good.